students, welcome back to our English class. Now, in my previous video, you have learnt about the new words, new phrases from the chapter Discovering Tut, the Saga Continues, written by A.R. Williams. Now, this happens to be the third unit of your textbook, and I have given you all the meanings of these new words and phrases that is there written in bold throughout the chapters, and I have given you a brief background also of the story, which is which is there over here in this book written by A.R. Williams. Now, in this particular video, I am going to explain the chapter in detail, right? Now, students, let's start. Tut or tut, as I already told you, whichever way you pronounce, it's the abbreviated name of the pharaoh, Egyptian pharaoh. Pharaoh, who are the pharaohs? Pharaohs are the Egyptian kings, you know. Be a little bit careful about two spellings in this chapter, which students frequently make mistakes. One is pharaoh, that is P-H-A-R-A-O-H, and the other spelling is archaeologist. Often people have the habit of pronouncing it as archaeologist, so they make the mistake over there. Actually, this pronunciation is archaeologist because the word has been derived from the word archaic, right? Archaic means old, and logi means study, and those who studies the past, the old things, ancient things rather, they are called archaeologists, right? So, the spelling is A-R-C-H-A-E-O-L-O-G-I-S-T-S. So, be a little bit careful about that. So, what I was saying is that Tutankhamun happened to be one of the favorite, most fondly loved pharaohs of Egyptian dynasty. Now, he was a boyish pharaoh when he passed away. His reign was considered as one of the golden ages of Egyptian dynasty, and he was fondly loved by his subjects, his countrymen, and he, not only that, students, one more fact is there, that Tutankhamun was the last heir of a powerful family that has ruled Egypt. So, as I told you, students, that Tutankhamun, all right, he died as a teenager. He was buried and with the passage of time was forgotten. But after the discovery of his tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter, the modern world wondered about the cause of his untimely death, that why Tut has died. Why Tut has died such untimely death, such premature death. Means he was a boyish pharaoh when he has passed away. He was just a teenager. So, what exactly has happened? Was it a natural death or a murder mystery is there related to his death? So, a lot of conjectures were there in the mind of his followers, and that's why he was brought out of his tomb and a CT scan was done to ascertain the reason of his death, right? So, what was the time, student? Here in this paragraph you will find that it was 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005 when King Tut was taken out from his burial tomb after a span of 3,300 years. Now, at that point of time, students, over here you will get to read that the weather was dusty, absolutely cloudy, and was quite eerie. Eerie means very strange, you know. The mummy was then put into a CT scanner to investigate the continuing uncertainty. So, as I told you in my last video, the meaning of the word saga means a bond, a continuation. So, the bond is there, some link is there which is continuing. So, previously also his body has been put for investigation, some examination scientifically done, and now also the discovering the death mystery related to Tutankhamun is still continuing. So, there is a bond, the link of the previous to the next stage of investigation is continuing. That is why the name of the story is justified, students, right? Now, over here, I must tell you that yeah, the mummy was then put into CT scanner to investigate the continuing uncertainty of the death of this young ruler who died an untimely death, you know. And means after that we will find in the following paragraphs that multitudes of tourists from around the world came to visit. In this paragraph particularly, you will get to learn that multitude of tourists from around the world came to visit his tomb to pay their respects. They stared at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber and looked at Tuts' gilded face on the lid of his mummy-shaped outer coffin. The visitors were curious and thoughtful. Some feared the pharaoh's curse would befall those who disturbed him. So, what is meant by murals, I would like to tell you, is that murals means the paintings on the wall. Now, often you will find in some TV channels, some program related to Egyptian dynasties dated back to the pharaoh's times, this Valley of Kings. Now, this Valley of Kings, student, this is actually the cemetery of the pharaohs, right? And it is lying in the desert part of the Egypt. And over here, you will find several pyramids. Often the tourists are being taken to visit such this Valley of Kings, and over there it is mostly you will find the tourist gathering and looking with awe, with wonder, the magnificent construction of the pyramids one after the other, lying separately at a distance from each other. So, over there inside the pyramid, what the Egyptians used to do, they used to paint the walls with some pictures. So, some tourists were looking at the murals and some were looking at the gilded. Gilded means the golden, you know, the golden. Gold is the noun and gilded is the verb form, or rather over here it has been used as an adjective, gilded face. What was the face? Gilded face. So, golden face of the lid of the mummy shaped outer coffin. The outer shape of the upper lid of the coffin, you know, it is gilded and absolutely in the shape of the mummy. Right. So, the visitors were curious and thoughtful, as I said. Right. In the next paragraph over here, this particular paragraph, which begins with the mummy is in very bad condition. Here you are going to read that Zahi Hawass happens to be the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. Antiquities means those who take care of antique things, you know. So, such council has been set up, Supreme Council in Egypt, and Zahi Hawass happened to be the Secretary General of that Council of Antiquities in Egypt. Okay. Now, Zahi Hawass said that the mummy was in a very bad state because of the manner in which Howard Carter, the British archaeologist, has ransacked the mummy in the year 1922. And that time he had Howard Carter had discovered Tuts' tomb and had gone about investigating the contents of the tomb. He then found the richest royal collection ever. There was a dazzling work of art in gold that had caused a sensation then and continue to draw people's attention even today. Right. I repeat that in 1922 Howard Carter had already ransacked Tutankhamun's tomb once, and that point of time he had investigated what are the contents inside the tomb. So, what are all the stuffs, the golden treasures, the funerary artifacts, you know, which has been stuffed inside the tomb. Now, that time he found that there were some richest royal collection ever, which the Egyptians has buried along with the mummy inside the pyramid. Now, that point of time there were some dazzling works of art he had found, and those arts were made of gold, and that has caused lot of sensation students, and those sensations instilled the curiosity, I must say, and that curiosity continued to draw people's attention even today. Everyday things such as everyday things means daily things the things which are used in our daily life like board games, bronze razor, linen garments, cases of food and wine had also been buried with the young pharaoh. Why board games? Because he was a boyish pharaoh student. He was a boyish pharaoh, so all these games and all the stuffs were been um, put inside by the Egyptians. Now, one thing over here I must tell you students, that the Egyptians used to believe in resurrection. Resurrection, in my previous video I have already mentioned what is meant by resurrection. Resurrection means coming back to life after death. So, the Egyptians used to believe that after a person dies, the soul never dies. The soul will again come back to life. So, to make the journey for the pharaohs from this world to that world smoother, the Egyptians used to stuff all these daily artifacts, and that also that they were stuffing for the king. So, all the artifacts were very costly and rich collection of treasures, and these treasures were being buried along with the mummy inside the pyramid.